Hello friends, welcome. Friends, today we are going to discuss a very important topic. So the plan of this video is to take you through the data of overseas investment of Indian companies. Indian companies keeps on making a lot of investment, which kind of gives us a lot of insight about their interest, the business interest, especially overseas and in different countries. So this information will help us analyze not only the company's interest from the point of view of their investments requirements, but also help us understand the India's balance of payment situation, because this is a flow of dollar outside the country. So it is important to look at this data and analyze the data to a level of granularity that we can. Now, RBI has two different file structure for managing this data. One is the monthly file structure, which I'm going to show you. Another is an aggregated time series file structure, which they have posted in their statistics folder here. If you go here, you will find that there is some database of Indian economy, and you have to search in this folder, and you will find that there is a link there which you will get this information. I don't want to get into that because that file does not have a very detailed granular information which is available in the monthly file. Now, if you click this link, you will go to another page which will have another link which will contain the Excel file. So what I've done is I have captured or downloaded all these Excel file into a folder. So I'm going to show you where this file has been downloaded and what is the structure of this file. So let me just take you through the structure of this file. So this is the folder in which the files have been downloaded for various months. So I'm going to open one of the file which is in the first of the in the list. So let me open this file, and I'm going to show you that the file is structured in a format which is very difficult to process by hand. So this is the structure of the file. If you look at the file, you'll find that there is a summary page, and then there is one more page which has the data captured in an Excel format, in a column based format. So let me show you how this data is captured. Just hold on for a minute. Let this page, this is the data. So you'll find that this data has various columns: name of the party, name of the JV, whether the JV, whether it is a JV or a WS, overseas country, major activity, equity, loan, guarantee issues, and total. So this is how the data has been structured. Now the one way is that you copy this file and keep copying below, and in an Excel sheet you will find it extremely difficult to manage this file. The another problem with this file is all these names of these companies and the JVs do not have a specific code associated with it, because sometimes there is a spelling mistake, sometimes there are duplicate names or different, it may be a little varying here and there. So if you try to process this file using an Excel sheet, it will be impossible for you to process this because of the problems that I am explaining to you, because there are so many files and it will become very difficult to aggregate these files. So what I have done is I actually have created a code, and I'm going to take you through this code to make you understand how to use that code and how that code is going to help you process this data very quickly. So this is the code which I have created, which I'm going to show you, and I'm going to run this code step by step so that you understand how this can be done very easily. So this is the code, but not a very big code, it's a small code, right? So let's begin one by one. So first is that I have to read the names of the file attached with the folder path. So what I've done is that I went to my directory, went to my folder and copied the folder path, and you can do it very easily. And once you go to the folder path, just press Option and then press right click. The folder path will get copied, and then you paste it here. Once you paste it, this is the folder path, means the directory where the folders, where the files are present. And then what you do is that you do a list comprehension where you go and look at the folder and pick the files and combine them with the path, the directory path, because if you don't, then it will not get processed one by one. So once I run this code, you will see that how this code looks. Then you will get a very good understanding. So what this code is telling you, the path where my file is present, and along with that the name of the file. Here is the name of the file, individual file. Now these are all hodgepodge. They are not alphabetically sorted, and the names of, if you look at the names of these files, they are not properly managed. There is no structure, there is no consistency. They've just put the file as it is. You as a programmer, you as a coder, take care of it. There is no help that has been provided by RBI, so that it becomes easy. The biggest problem, the format of the file is not a problem. The biggest problem is the absence of code describing a company and a JV. Because if that was there, then it would have become a processing would have become a breeze. But irrespective of the fact, I'm going to tell you some techniques which you can use to get rid of that particular problem. So first, let's look at the folders, right? And the files. So these are the files. Now you notice here that the files will have two different extensions. One is .xls, another is .xls. You see this? Can you see this? There are two different extensions here. This is one extension here. Let me just take my pen so that it becomes very clear. So this is the extension. Looks like the pen is not working here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But you can see the extension very clearly. One is the XLS extension, and another is the extension. So there are two different type of extensions. So what you need to do is, let me just go to the next part of the code. What you have to do is that in order to read the file, you have to deal with these two different extensions separately. And therefore, when you enter the engine, the engine has to be very specific for a particular extension, right? So let me just pick this this particular code and run this in a separate tab, and so that you understand what is going on. So I've just initialized the final data frame when I'm going to copy the final information. So what I've done is that I have now for every file I am basically assigning a different engine, right? So as soon as the file it finds a different extension, a different engine is going to be assigned to that particular file. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to read this file into the data frame, right, using that particular engine. So I'm going here, I'm going to paste this here, and then I just paste it here and read this file in a specific engine. So for a particular engine, the file will get read. So just to show you how this code is getting processed, so I'm going to print the data frame which is going to get read. So you'll notice that for every extension, this data is going to throw this information out if you want to print it, because it is in a for loop. Why it is in for loop? Because the file has different paths, and each and every file with different path is getting processed, as I showed you. Okay, so this is the second step. Now let me just clear all these things, clear cell output, and let me go again. And what I am going to do now, I'm not going to print the data frame anymore because it will create a lot of clutter in the output. So I'm going to remove it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start processing the data frame. Now let's look at the last data frame so that you understand what is going on. So this is the last data frame of this file, because there are multiple data frame and this is a for loop. Therefore, we have to look into the last data frame. So the first as you know that whenever I process the data frame, I remove the rows which are with nulls as well as the columns which are with nulls. So I'm going to do it using this particular command, and I'm going to reset the index and will say drop is equal to true, because I don't want the index to become a column. So it's a very simple thing, all the columns and the rows, if it is null, please remove them. It will make the data much more cleaner. So you will see that how the data now looks. So the data is now going to look a little cleaner than what it was. So let me store this in the data frame. So once I have stored this in the data frame, then what I have to do is I have to now so I think this this particular step has got repeated 2 times, so no problem. So let me now identify the cell which has the date, because if you look at this these files, the file structure which I showed you, right, you will find that each and every file will have a different date, and the date have to be captured. So that the data frame, the processing will become automatic. And let me explain, what this means. See, if you look at this file, once you read this file, from where you're going to get the date, because the date has to be captured automatically, so that each and every data frame which is getting processed, when you aggregate the data frame in a combined data frame, the date comes automatically. Otherwise, the data frame is going to be of no use. So you have to capture the date from this cell. Look at this cell from 14-202 to 34-222, right? So you have to capture it, and it has to be done automatically. You can't just simply go and manually do that, because that will make the process useless, right? So let me remove this, and then I'm going to show you how you can do automatically. So what you do is, you first identify the index where this row exists. So for that, what you have to do? This is a very simple thing. Let me just show you how it can be done very simply. So what you have to do is that you just take the column, the first column, right? COLUMN, and then basically say 0, column 0. So this particular column, what happened? I think there is a problem here. Just a minute. df.column 0. Oh, so I have to basically enclose this with the data frame, because I have to read the column. Oh my god, what is the problem? df.co column sorry. Okay, so here it is. So now you have the columns here and the data frame, and the column which basically contains this text from. So once you have that, what you have to do is that you have to check for this text, right? So what you do is that you say make it str dot contains. So once you have that, what you want to check from, right? So once you check that, it will give a true and false statement. But this is not going to be sufficient. So what you need is, you have to extract the index, right? So in order for you to extract the index, because there are nulls here and you really are not bothered about null, what you do is that you fill the null with the information which is above, right? So you fill it. So once you have filled that, the only point where this information is true is the index that we want. So you enclose this again with the data frame, because the true index is going to get extracted. So this is the true index which is getting extracted here. You see here? So if so this is what we get is getting extracted. So if I do index here, then what will happen? You will find that this index 4 is getting extracted here, and I'm going to do 0 because this is a list. So this 4 number is going to come, right? So this will become the IDX, right? IDX, where that particular information exists. So once you have the IDX information in that particular point, then what you need to do is, you need to ensure that there is a pattern that you have, the regex pattern that you have to create in order to extract the date. So this is the pattern which I have created, and that pattern is important. Why? I'm going to show you why it is important, right? So let me just put the pattern here, and I'll tell you what this basically will do, right, in the whole thing, whole process. So first is that we have a pattern, and then I have to basically find the date in the pattern in the column df.ilog idx0. Why idx0? So let me just take this and copy and paste it here, then you will understand what this basically means, right? Because I'm going step by step. So you'll find that this is the string which will get extracted. Why? Because first is that I extracted the row index. So what I'm doing is df.ilog row index and 0. Why? Because the first column, right? So I got this information, because if you look at if I do it not first column, let's say if I do dx and then I basically take all the columns, then you'll find that all the columns will come. And if I remove idx and I do all columns, then you'll get everything along with this particular column where the date exists, right? So now you understand what is going on, right? So I do idx because the idx is the index number and this is the column number, so that you are able to extract the particular date where this pattern exists. From where you are going to extract this particular date. So for that you need this pattern. So now I'm going to copy this whole structure here, and then I'm going to paste it here to show you how this works. So once I have the pattern and then I'm searching for all the dates here, so you'll see here how this date, I think there is a problem here. Let me take this and put it here, and you will see that if I go into dates, Control C and Control V, you will find that the dates have got extracted. Both these dates have got extracted, right? But I only want this particular date. So what I'm going to do? because I need the last date, because in the dates both these dates have got extracted, which I showed you earlier, right, in that particular string. Let me just show you again. I'm going slow here because I want you to understand this, because this is very important for everything to work seamlessly. So here it is. So let me do it again, and you see the pattern here, IDX and it should be 0 because so you see this whole pattern. So I have extracted this pattern as well as this pattern, both this pattern here. So now I have to basically take the last date, because this is from this to this, and I want the end of the month date, because then that will become one of the columns. So what I do is I run this code. So once I run this code here, you will be able to see that this will be able to get you the last date, right? Because very simple code, date -1, if dates, else none, right? So you'll just run this, then you will find that the last date will get extracted here. See? The last date will get extracted. Now once you have the last date, what you do is that you create a column with that date, right? So I create a column with that date. The df date will get, so there will be a new column now with the date, because before that, how the data frame looks, let me just show you how the data frame looks. The data frame doesn't have a column date. You see this data frame doesn't have a column date. Unnamed 1, unnamed 10, there is no column date. But if I run this, and then if I just run the data frame, you will find that there is a date column which will get created. So this will happen because this is in a loop, right? So this will happen for each and every instant of the loop where the date will get extracted and a column will get created. Okay. Now after you have done that, what you have to do is that you have to convert this date into proper date time, which is very important, because if you don't convert this date into date time, there will be huge problems that you're going to face later, right? So it's a very simple thing to do, right? So you say that date, and then you say that pd dot date time, and then you basically put that column insert, and then you run this, but you will get a warning here. The problem will be because, okay, just a minute, my date time spelling is wrong. So you'll see a warning here. Oh, so date time. So basically, we are PD2 date time. Sorry, PD2 date time. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. PD2 date time. PD2 date time. What happened? PD2 date time. PD dot 2 date time, sorry, df date column bracket equal to, when you type this, that's why, see, this is in now you will see a warning here. Now the warning is that because this date does not know whether the month information is here or the month information is here, so it is better to pass a parameter which is day first is equal to true. So once you do that, then you will not face any problem. Then you will have a simple, now this is going to get converted into date. So once you have done that, what you have to do is that now you have to extract the headers. The header information is important, or you just store the header in a separate file. You don't have to worry about the header. But if you want to extract the header and process it separately, I have done it like this, but you don't have to. You can simply clip off the header and then put a separate header information below here at the end of the processing, like just what I have done. But if you want to do it, you can do it, but you can simply ignore these steps, header 1, header 2, header 3, and then finally I'm combining the header. You can simply ignore it. And what you can do, I'm going to show you what I basically mean is, so if I run this data frame, the data frame looks like this, then what I can do is I can simply clip the data frame. I look, and then I say IDX, because the place from where I want to clip, I have to see, right? I have to basically check that how many rows and columns I have to basically delete. So the rows and columns which I am going to delete is this whole thing I'm going to delete, this whole thing I'm going to delete, and this also I'm going to delete. So I have to add here how many? 2, right? No, 3. So if I add 3 here, so you'll see the data frame will get clipped completely. And then you see what you do is that you simply say reset index I always have a practice to basically register index and drop is equal to true, so that index does not get copied in the data frame. If I don't put drop into true, you'll see what will happen, so that you understand what is going on here. So you'll find that there is one more index column which is going to come, which I don't want, right? So I'll just simply use drop is equal to true, and then I'm going to have this stored in a separate data frame df, right? So once this data frame is ready, so now how this data frame looks? The data frame looks like this. We have got so there is a problem here because this data frame now has the index also here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this again from the beginning, and I'm going to just make sure that this becomes absolutely fine as I run this. So in the index will go, see, index is still there. Reset index drop is equal to true. What happened? Why this index is coming? Because this is not that index, sorry, this is not the index. I got terribly confused. This is this particular thing. Let me just tell you what this is. This is this one, serial number. It looks like an index, but this is a serial number. Whenever you are working, whenever pressure of time, because I don't edit my videos, that is the reason why I always try to make sure that it goes flawlessly and seamlessly in the beginning itself, because it takes me a lot of time to edit video. I don't want to, because I don't have the time to edit video. Okay, so this is the final. This is how the data frame is going to look like a clip, and then finally, once you don't have to process the data because you know exactly from where you to clip the data, and then you just go here, and as the end of the processing you can basically give the final name of the column. So once having done that, what you have to do now, you have to now there is one more thing which is very, very important. So let me do this. Let me just give the names of the column for this data frame anyway from the beginning itself, so that you understand what I'm talking about. So I say df.column is equal to, and then I pass this list, and this list is nothing. I'm going to show you how this list looks so that it becomes clear. So the names of the columns, each and every names of the columns have been assigned, each and every column has been assigned a name here. So when I just press enter here, what happened? The list has to start here. The bracket is missing. So now if you see here, this is how it is going to look now. So there is a mismatch here. Why there is a mismatch? Maybe there is one more column here which has to be deleted. There is an extra column. Let me just see. This is a problem when you are working in the fly. So let me clear all cell and let me look at the data. Maybe there is a column here which I have to delete. Yeah, look at this. This column has to be deleted. So I have to basically go drop NA axis is equal to 1, how is equal to all. So what will happen is that all the columns which are going to have nulls are going to get deleted. And now after having done that, then you run this is going to work now. You see? So I'm going to just so let me copy this here, Control C, and then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to remove this cell, and now I'm going to run this, and now it is going to run, right? See? So now you have the columns also having named here. You see the columns have been named here. So once the column name has been done, now it becomes very easy. There is one more step which is very, very important, because if I do one thing, let me just show you how complex this information becomes. Let's say if I want to check for all the Indian parties, right, in this data frame. This is only one single data frame, not all the files, because I'm only using the last file of the row, and I use set here, and you will see that it becomes so overwhelming that you will find it, you just give it up. See, there are so many names of companies, and some companies are completely irrelevant. You don't really bother about this company. You are only bothered about those big companies which are going to be making the investment. So what do you do about that? So there is a very simple way to manage that. So what you do is, in order to ensure that the big companies the data is only getting extracted, so you filter on the column of total financial commitment. So I'm going to show you how it can be done. So you filter it, and you create a filter. So what is the filter that I'm going to create? I'm going to remove this here so that you understand. I'm not going to use I'm going to go step by step. So this is the total. So because I've named it differently itself, so the total. Total means the total investment. Now this total investment value I can put greater than 0. Greater than means everything. But if I put 10 million, right, greater than 10 million, then it is going to give me a different structure altogether, right? This is going to be a true and false statement. Now if I now wrap it within the data frame so as to filter on this column, then you will see the data frame going to give a set which is going to be much less than what you saw earlier. I'm going to show you how this is going to look like. So once you have this, and then you insert the Indian party here in the data frame, and then you run a set there, you will find that the set is going to list out companies which are going to be much less than what you had encountered earlier. You see, the list is much less than what you encountered earlier, and these are only big companies. Now what you can do is that you can change this number. You can make this number as 10, 20, 15, whatever you want. So if I make it 15, let's say if I make it 15, or maybe make it 100, you see how the list is going to change. The list is going to be much shorter. So this is the way to handle this information, because there are so much clutter here, you are not interested in that clutter. You are only interested in big companies. Now there are so many files with so much information, it is very difficult. Had the data had been mapped with a company code, it would have been very easy. But since it is not mapped with the company code, depending upon how you are going to filter it, you will be able to deal with this data very easily. So this is the filter which I have used, and then finally I am just aggregating each and every data frame of each of the file, and then storing it in df final, and then we are doing this processing later. So if I run this code, you will find that this code is going to read each and every file in this folder, this folder, and then it is going to create a single file. I'm going to show you how this whole thing process is going to look. Now I run this here. Once this has been run here, and you will see that this is still running here because this is still busy. See, kernel status busy because there are so many files to process. Once this is over, then what you will do, let me just wait for a minute, because I'm running multiple things simultaneously. It has done. So now if you look at df final, and then I press df final here, you see the df final contains how many? If you do a shape, you will see that it contains 25,458 rows and 11 columns. And then finally what you do is that you store this in this file. And once you store this in a file, see, there is one more way of checking it. See, what you should do once you have done this processing, in order to ensure that not a single file has been missed, you run this set df final date, and then you check the date that this is November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So if there is any month which is missing, that month you can basically recopy in your folder. Now see that everything is automatic. The date gets picked up automatically. The files will get processed automatically. It is so simple. Had you done using manual processing, you will get crazy, because processing this information using manual, it is not possible. Simple Excel is not possible, and the code is not very difficult. It's a very simple code. You see this? So I encourage you to learn this technique, because more and more you learn this technique, more empowered you become. Because I didn't have any skill. I have been doing this for, though I have got visualization skill and I have been using Tableau for last 5-6 years, but coding skill I didn't have. I picked it up in last 1 year, 1.5 years or so, let's say. So you have to work very hard, you have to be committed. And if you do not have this simple, you don't have to be an AI engineer, by the way. There is no need for this. But if you really want to process data hands-on, to understand the insight of data and then work on the data, the coding skills are absolutely essential. Because why? ChatGPT is not going to help you. Not going to help you. It will give you certain insight as to what kind of, if you are stuck, it will basically help you with those steps. But it is not going to give you the complete solution. So this is how the information finally looks. I'm going to show you where the information is in the file. Where is it? Just a minute. I'm going to show you. I don't know where this information has gone. Let me run this file again. So here is the file. Let me just go this is the file. So if I open this file, and you will find that it will take a little bit of time. And this is, I think, the file looks like. This is the problem, when you run so many programs simultaneously. there you really don't have the capability to run everything simultaneously. Anyway, but doesn't matter. So I think you got the gist of the whole program as to how you can process this very simply and handle multiple files in a folder with a different structure, different kind of file structure, as well as different formatting. Everything is different formatted, and you can run it very easily. And then once you have the data ready in that particular format, then you can feed it into Tableau, and you can create these kind of dashboards which is going to show up. Look, this kind of dashboard which I just created. So different type of dashboards which you can create, and that is going to throw insights which you will not be able to look at from the data, right? So hope friends you found this tutorial useful. I will try my level best to do similar tutorial, because Tableau, though it is very easy, right, to handle simple structure, but it is very difficult when you are actually handling complex structure. So there you need to do a lot of LOD calculations. You have to basically work with columns, rows, etc., windows functions, pan, window calculation, and then formulas, etc. They are very, sometimes becomes overwhelming. Even after so many years of experience, I also get stuck sometimes and have to basically refer to experts for my visualization objectives. So thank you friends for your time. I hope that you found this video useful, and let me know if you want any further insight on a different subject. I will be very happy to bring you the video on that particular subject. Sometimes my videos are actually getting elongated because I don't edit. My only problem is I do not have the time, because I have to do so many things. It is not possible for my single person to do everything simultaneously. Maybe tomorrow I'll figure out a method to do that, but still now I do not have the capability to understand or the skills to edit simultaneously. And when I do these videos, you have to deal with the length of my videos, right? I'm sorry for that. So thank you for your time. I'll come back to you with a new video next time.